All right. Hello, world. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to today's or tonight's free international webinar series 1 on authentic assessment in teaching and learning, part 3, brought to you by the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. The first part of this webinar series was conducted on October 1, and the second part was conducted on October 4. Tonight or today is going to be the part 3 of that webinar series. And we are coming to you live via StreamYard on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us for tonight's or today's session. My name is Gafor Impanimbang, an assistant professor 4 from Adyong Memorial Polytechnic State College here in Lanao del Sur, Philippines. And it is my privilege to be your host for tonight's or today's session. For those who don't know yet, the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP, is an ISO certified training institute and a globally recognized multi-awarded international professional organization that provides free online and offline learning platforms for education and skills training for students and professionals alike, backed by international speakers and coaches from all over the world. It is a non-profit training institute dedicated to making it possible for anyone to learn anything and anywhere for free online at any subject level. True to its mantra, feed your skill, it is IGP's mission to empower people by providing an overall learning experience that meets their needs and helps them to achieve life goals. We believe that free education, more than anything else, has the power to break through boundaries and transform lives. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's or tonight's event. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to our speakers related to the content of today's or tonight's webinar. Our speakers will be answering questions through chat and only through chat. So please type them in the chat box below. You may send in your text questions at any time during the presentation, and we will collect those questions and hold them for the Q&A session at the end of tonight's or today's event. We will bring your questions on the screen and I will be reading them out loud for the speakers to respond. We will get through as many questions as time permits. And if you would like a specific speaker to answer your question, please indicate the speaker's name and then the question. All right? Throughout the presentation, you will see a couple of questions pop up on your screen that would allow you to get engaged with us while the presentation is going on. And we appreciate you guys answering those questions coming in. Tonight's or today's session is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. That's Institute of Global Professionals. We are using our FB page and our YouTube channel to store webinar recordings and make them available for public viewing. Yes, that's for public viewing. And after this session, we will be posting this recorded webinar on our YouTube channel for you to watch a replay in case you want to review anything. And we welcome you to revisit the content yourself and share it with your colleagues. And it would also be greatly appreciated if you could hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell for you to get notified every time we upload a new webinar video every single day. Yes, you heard it right, every single day. If you stay till the end of this webinar, you will get a link to download your ISO verified e-certificate free of charge, courtesy of the Institute of Global Professionals. The link will be provided as pinned post down in the comment section below shortly before the webinar ends. Further details on the certification process will be shared to you at the end of this event. And we're so excited also to invite everyone to be part of our exciting and interactive online quiz game competition happening after the speaker's presentation. If you wish to join with the quiz game competition as player, all you have to do is just go to slido.com using your own device and browser. And once you get there, you will see a window asking you to type in the event code. Just simply type in the event code and press enter. And pretty much you're good to go. The event code, by the way, will be posted on the screen just before the competition begins. So please do hang out for that. Lucky top 10 players who would have the most correct answers and fastest response time will receive quiz completion certificate, again, courtesy of the Institute of Global Professionals. If you believe this program is useful to you, then why don't you help your friends to discover this free webinar? Feel free to share this program on your social media communities and suggest it to your family members, friends, and colleagues you care about so they can benefit from these programs too. We also invite you to leave us a comment, share us your thoughts, and give us thumbs up. All right? And if you have not yet joined the IGP, please consider joining in. It's free and IGP offers many benefits to you guys. And if you are interested in becoming a member of IGP, please feel free to reach out directly using our website. That's www.eduigp.com. And we will be happy to welcome you aboard and be part of our growing international professional community. So, without further ado, I would now like to welcome our speakers for tonight's or today's event. Starting off with Dr. Abdul Mukid M. PD of Indonesia, and we've got Mom Neneng Maulidia, also from Indonesia. We are so glad they could be here tonight or today to share their insights on the topic authentic assessment in teaching and learning part 3. All right? So this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will now turn the time over to our first speaker. All right, so here we go. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to have Dr. Abdul Mukit MPD from Indonesia joining us as our first speaker. Welcome to the show, Dr. Abdul Mukit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gafur. How are you?
Not that bad. Everything is going to be fine.
Okay, I will be happy join for this program.
Yeah. And we're so glad, sir, for you having us our first speaker. And I wonder if you could share us first just a little bit of your short biography, highlighting some of your accomplishments before you get straight to the content of your presentation. Does that make sense, sir?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Gafur. So, I know this program very much. I got information too about this program for our friend, Mr. Gafur too from Indonesia. Okay.
Yes, we have the same name.
Yeah, he was at the same class with me when we were studying at university. Okay, for the time being, I would say the first is Bismillah because I am a Muslim, Mr. Gafur. And then for today, the material that I am going to deliver is about authentic assessment for English material in vocational high school in Indonesia. Mainly, it is in my campus. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my time for joining my presentation about authentic assessment. I'm very interested in sharing about my experience about authentic assessment in Indonesia, mainly that happened in my campus. The first, maybe all of you have known that there are two dichotomies about education in Indonesia. Number one, there is academic education, and number two, there is vocational education, in which both of them are legally applied or practiced by our government. Okay, about two kind of education, there are two demarcation between both of them. Number one, the academic education, it is concerned, the objective is fully competent. In contrast, vocational education, it is competent and performant in its objective. Therefore, the two kind of academic education have a portion of the theory with a different percentage, in which the academic education, the theory consists of 80%, while the vocational education, the theory consists of 40% and practice 60%. Okay, because of that, here influence about the teaching and learning process, mainly for the assessment. As we know that assessment is to measure the student capability and achievement or performance. Why we need the assessment? The assessment is actually to measure whether the objective of the teaching and the learning process run as well as it is expected. Therefore, the assessment is needed not only for the teachers himself, but also for the students. Well, uh, because of that, there are two kind of terms that are applied in every institution. Number one, there is the term about quiz or there is test. Quiz or test, it is used to measure the student absorption or capability in absorbing the material being delivered. And number two, there is assessment. While assessment here is to measure to what extent the student capability in mastering about performance. Okay, next, which one is the best test that can be applied in our two education system? The answer, it depending on its objective and lesson time. Sometimes the authentic assessment has a better way, and sometimes the test and quiz gets the better way. So it is depending on the time and lesson time and also the objective of every lesson. Now we come to the content of the material. The authentic assessment, it is used for professional skill in Indonesia. And then the authentic assessment here, it is a kind of independent judgment and interpretation of student performance. What is being assessed is the student skill. If skill, it refers to the performance. And then in applying the authentic assessment, there are two big obstacles. Number one, because the authentic assessment, it it is actually taking time, and in making planning about authentic assessment, it must be carefully planned. If not, the result cannot be cannot become the evaluation for the teachers or the lecturers. And then there are two views in seeing about the authentic assessment from teachers' view. From the teacher's view or teacher's teaching, the authentic assessment to be the reflection to know the quality of the teaching that he or she has been conducted. Number two, from the student view, here it is helping to recognize their weaknesses and their strength, and then to determine about the strategies to improve their weakness in getting it. Okay, and then after that, what are the constraints in applying of authentic assessment? In Indonesia, time allocation is very short, mostly about credits, two credits only about 30 minutes. And then number two, the chapters and their objective are too many. Within one semester, there are about 15 chapters. That's why in applying authentic assessment is rather impossible, because the lecturers and the teachers are forced to finish the material within one semester. and and then number three is the consistency of of the lesson objective are changing every semester. Okay, and then the salary of the teachers and lecturers are not sufficiently enough. As I know, in Malaysia and Singapore, being a teacher or lecturers are having a good salary. That's why by having good salary, they have motivation to show their better or their best competency in giving material or lesson to their students. And then the independency is often intruded by politics. For instance, one lecturer or one teacher is interested in a certain material on subject study, but because of a different political concept, it can be deleted. And then there are some various standard students. Yeah, it's been that every student that are entering into the one class has different capacity and capability based on the standard being given, because politically are intrude in this model of the lesson. And then now, because of some lacking of the material, I try to propose 7 steps of assessment anatomy. It means that authentic assessment focus on 7 steps. What's that? Number one, here is anatomy of authentic assessment. Number one is planning. So by having good planning, uh, automatically it can be It can be uh, scheduled about the right assessment, the right test, when the assessment can be applied, when the quiz and test can be applied too. And then number two is about material. There must be material. Without material, there is no planning. Okay, number three is about objective. These determine the kind of assessment, the kind of objective, or interchangeably. Yeah. And then number four, performance test. Performance test is being conducted based on the objective which is determined first through the planning at the first point. And then next, the performance test is situationally based. So it's sometimes certain test is successfully conducted in a certain situation, but in other place and in other time it cannot be successful. And then last, in making an authentic assessment, it should be using a percentage of showing the capability. We cannot use about number or alphabetical because number and alphabetical it is a judgment. So assessment is the process. It's not being finished or not final. That's why every mark given to the student must be in the form of a percentage. And then the conclusion by having by having an input of capability in the form of percentage, the teachers or lecturer can make a conclusion whether his teaching material, his teaching approach is successful or fail. Yeah. And then the last one, if it is successful, the teachers and every lecturers must do replanning about the material that he or she is going to be given to his or her student. Whether uh, his or her material are successful or fail, it must be replanning. And then now we come to authentic assessment in reading. As I told you first that it is focused on English material. How to make an authentic assessment? As we know that in teaching English as a foreign language, there are four kind of tests to measure the student to measure the student capability in absorbing the material. Number one, reading. Number two, listening. Number three, writing. Number four, speaking. But this time, the listening are not inserted in this presentation. How about the authentic assessment in reading tasks? We can see in this table. For example, topic one. The topic of reading is about press release. Is just example. The reading task is students are asked to find anonym of a word in the text and answer question, which the answer are already stated in the text. What is the authentic assessment that can be done? It is by performance, it is using selecting responses or selecting response. What are the answers of the student? It must be taken. How to answer about the reading? It can be using by pointing out one person and then we move to other student, we move to one student to the other student. So in turn, Okay, so by using like reading, it can be used the authentic assessment by ordering them to read a paragraph, for example, and giving a question. And then the question should be identified as an authentic assessment. And there are many others model. For example, here, construction and application of the knowledge. For example, reading about advertisement or announcement, asking students to analyze, synthesize, and create new meaning in the process as well. So the authentic assessment can take from this. Okay? And then next, how about the authentic assessment in speaking? It is easy because the objective is to measure the performance is, for example, the topic press release, and then speaking task, presenting a role play about a successful press conference. A student has a role as a spokesperson, two students as script writers, and seven students as a journal. They perform a task as the authentic assessment. Who can apply it well? It means that he or she is okay, I mean, the more perfect than the others. This is about speaking task. It's easy. And the last one, the most difficult, is about the authentic assessment in writing tasks. What that, for example, asking the student to write a press release of Minister of Manpower and Transmigration of Republic of Indonesia who has just visited his institution to inaugurate training building for workers. Yeah. So what's that? What the authentic assessment? The student must write down what he see, what he understand in front of his eyes by doing a performance task. So about authentic assessment, it cannot be generalized as a one conclusion, but the basic point is the authentic assessment to identify to what extent the material can be understood by student and can be applied on. If just understood in Indonesia, its model is just academic institution. But if understood plus it can be applied, it meant a performance one using for vocational. So to know whether it's better, it depending on the judger who see the model of authentic assessment. Every assessment it is needed to measure the student capability and capacity in understanding the material. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Gabor.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for providing us an opportunity to deepen our understanding on your best practices of coming up with an evaluation with your students right there in Indonesia and those other tips that you have shared with us. All right. We truly appreciate great lecturers like you, and we are hoping to
Okay.
have you again in our next series. All right, sir?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you for spending your time with us. All right. And just a quick reminder, if you have any questions to our first speaker, Dr. Abdul Mukid, just type it in the comments section below, and we will bring that up during the questions and answer portion after the presentation. All right. So again,
Okay, thank
ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Dr. Abdul Mukid, MPD, all the way from Indonesia. and he will be back for our question and answer portion later on. All right, there you go.
Okay.
So at this time, all right, we're going to hand the floor over to our second speaker. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have Mom Neneng Maulidia, also from Indonesia, joining us as a second speaker. And she will also be shedding light on the topic authentic assessment in teaching and learning. Of course, this is going to be the part three. All right. So, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming again Mom Neneng Maulidia from Indonesia. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
So,
so much for having.
yes, Mom, we're so glad to have you here with us tonight. And then before you start, do you mind sharing us first just a little bit of your biography so that our live audience could get to know a little bit of your qualifications and accomplishments? All right. Before you finally
Okay.
proceed to our to your presentation rather. All right, so the floors or the virtual floors is now yours, Ma'am Neneng Maulidia. Hello, Ma'am Maulidia.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
so I think you can start sharing us just a little bit about yourself
Okay.
before we
I'm basically a high school teacher for now, and I have
alright,
um TOEFL preparation students privately at home, and yeah, just doing that every day.
all right.
Yeah, just
So
that.
okay, so let's get straight right away to the content of your presentation. By the way, I will be taking care or taking charge of the presentation of Mom Maulida. So here we go. All right, just a few seconds.
Okay.
All right. Okay, how about that,
Okay.
Mom Neneng?
Should I
Is it
start?
okay? Sure.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to present about the blended learning, and we will be focused on teacher strategy to apply blended learning in online classroom activity. Okay, next slide. Please move, sir. Okay, before we explain about the teacher strategy, let's start with what is blended learning. So, blended learning is the strategy combination of face to face and online learning experiences. And when properly implemented, the popular teaching method can result in improved student access, satisfaction, and retention. So, blended learning is the best method in the pandemic era because now we're going to talk about the pandemic era from teaching learning at class, and blended learning is the best method because it's combination between the offline classroom and the online classroom. So we do the both of method, and we have some models. After this we're going to talk about this, and now let's move to the next slide. Let's go to the next. Okay, why do we blend the learning? First, because in the pandemic era, we cannot teach at school. We should teach students at home. So, how we can teach students at home? Not all the students know about the technology, right? So, we use blended learning because it com it, it's a combination between offline classroom and online classroom. So, why? First, learners get personal experiences. Using the blended learning, I mean, you can use computer at home. The teachers use computer at school, and the learners use computer or phone at home. So this is some kind like independence experiences. When we give the materials to the students and ask them to learn about the materials at home and privately, they can use the experiences to try explore the materials by themselves, and then they can use this time, this um, chance to explore more about how I can study, how the students can study by themselves. This is very good for students' personality. Two, it increases engagement. Using we will going to talk about the medias that the blended learning will going to use. Okay, so in blended learning, we use many medias. We use many technologies, not only books or computer. We're going to use online, and online means there are many application facilities features that we can use to teach and to learn. So by using these facilities, there are so many engagement by the students and the teacher that we can use both together. So we can increases the engagement, but not just using face to face, but also using the medias that the teacher will going to use. Three, learners can access. Wait a minute, kid. And three, learners can access. Wait a minute. Learners can study anywhere and everywhere. This is the main point of the blended learning. The blended learning have no specific time. We can use after you study, after your teachers, your students study. This is not just disappear by itself. Okay, the data will be there, so the students can access that anywhere and everywhere. Four, provide a safer learning environment. Blended learning is using school, home, environment. It's not just about in the room or in the classroom. Blended learning used library, market, um, backyard, from yard, any place. So you can use many things as comfortable as you want. The students can reach the materials at home, at their friend's home, or in the park, or in the library. It can be anywhere. So it's not just in the classroom. It's not just about the Zoom meeting or the face-to-face meeting at school. No, it's not just about that. It's more free than the traditional method teaching learning. And five, gather learner data for better insights. Just like what I said before. So all the materials, all the medias that the teacher is going to use, there are some kind of data that we can save in a computer, and it will be better insight because the student can access it any place in anywhere. And the computer that we're going to use is not just about the computer. It can be a mobile phone or the tab. We can save the media, we can save the materials, and we can open it everywhere. We can submit the assignment using any application, both of them using the same application. We have to use the same application, like we use WhatsApp or we use Telegram. And this is better. I mean, um, if we use only books, the books can go on, the books can lost, but the data will be there as long as we save it in the safe place. Of course, we use like Google Drive or email. That is the safer place. Next, next slide. How to know the blended learning characteristics. Okay, the teacher must know the characteristic of blended learning because it's the combination, okay? This is the combination between classroom learning and online learning. In the classroom learning, the characteristic are motivation, one-to-one feedback. So in the classroom, there are no screen that will separate the teacher with the students. So, one-to-one feedback means the teacher can talk freely to the students directly, and the time is very flexible. You know, the communication will be so comfortable more than using in screen. More if we use online classroom, so the online classroom use screen. There is screen that separate teacher and students, but in classroom learning, in an offline classroom, there is no screen that separates that separate teacher and student. So it will be more freer for student and teacher to communicate. Personal time and counseling. Um, at school, we meet directly face to face with the teachers and the students. This is what we want at school, what we do at school. We can do it in a personal time. In Zoom meeting, in the meeting room, the teacher must see all the students directly in the same screen, and another students can see another teacher. Um, with in the classroom learning, the counseling, we can use it in a personal time with the teacher, one teacher in one student, without seeing the screen, without seeing another students. So this is some kind of like what we used in school, what we used to do at school. Progress tracking. The teacher can directly see the students, the ranking, the improvement, the materials, the values, scores, the moral things into the students. I mean, once the students break the rules, the teacher can directly give punishment. This is very different with online learning. The online learning, if the students to break the rules, the teachers cannot directly give the punishment to the students because this is just online learning. We just learn the material. We don't really focus on something about physical activity. This is more like educational activity. Guidance. Guidance is more like of course, everybody feels more comfortable meet directly with another people. This is very clear. This is the different with using by phone. Talking using a mobile phone. This is a very different with talking directly face to face. This is more comfortable using face to face. So when you teach, of course, this is more comfortable for teacher to directly face to face teach the students than using screen, using online meeting. So let's move to the online learning, self study. The most um, the main benefit from online learning is independence. Self study means when the teacher gives the students materials, the students can independently find the materials by themselves, learn the materials by themselves. This is like uh, the mobility, okay? The mobility, self direction. This is one thing. The students can explore the materials that the teacher give. The teacher must um, prepare the materials, okay? Because not all the students can prepare the materials. In, this is for school. This is very different with college. If the college, the students can prepare by themselves, but in high school, the teacher must prepare the materials and share to the students. Self-tracking and control. The students, because they're separate with another students, so this is decreasing the cheating thing. So the students can independently track the scores or the improvement of themselves by asking the teachers, because this is like a private, this is similar with private school. Online assessment. Yeah, of course, this is online learning, so this is online assessment. Group chats, of course, using group chats is more flexible for a teacher, because we can announce, we can share, we can give all the needs of the preparation about the materials using the group chats, and the students can talk with another students using the group chats, and the teacher can also um, directly communicate with the students using the group chat. So will be more like useful, more useful. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Teachers, what is your strategy? This teaching method incorporates digital learning with traditional teaching methods, creating a blend between teacher-led and student-driven learning. Educators are seeing increased engagement among students and efficiency among teachers. So we're going to talk about our strategy, teacher strategy in using blended learning in online classroom. Next slide. One, start with a description of curriculum. Writing down what the next 2 weeks or semester will cover often identifies learning goals, objectives, and outcomes. The description also ensures your familiarity with the curriculum content and helps pinpoint potential digital resources such as a game. Okay, so before you start the class, before you start the semester of the class or of the subject, this is better if you share the curriculum to the students, what we're going to learn for one semester, what we're going to do, what is the method. So if in one semester we have about five chapters, and then we can talk with the students, what's better we going to do? I mean, sharing the curriculum with the student is not a bad idea. This is very, very suggestible. because this is the blended learning. We blend the online and the offline classroom, so the students know about the materials that they're going to learn in the next week or in the next meeting. This is better because they can prepare the materials that they're going to learn. The students nowadays are way smarter than we thought. They can use many applications to learn. There are like Google's, Brainly, Quora. There's so many useful applications that the students can use to increase their materials. If they know the materials, this is very helpful for the teachers. So don't forget to share the curriculum to the students if you use the blended learning. This is way better than hide the materials. Next, choose the blended learning model that works for you. Okay, there are many blended learning models. It's about 12 models, but I'm going to explain just four models because these four models are generally used by teachers nowadays in this pandemic era because we're going to talk about the most of online classroom, and not all the models support the 100% online classroom. So we're going to talk about station rotation model, flipped classroom model, and flex model, and remote blended learning. This is the most used blended learning models by teachers. Don't forget to choose before you use the models. Next. Okay, blended learning models. We're going to talk about only four models. First, station rotation models. And learners rotate through different learning stations in class. This could be a mixture of group work, online learning, small group instruction. Okay. In station rotation model, there are three parts. So if the learning classroom um, is 90 minutes, we can divide it into three parts. So in 30 minutes, this is the instruction. This is the instruction of the materials. And then the next 30 minutes, this is about the teacher's led instruction. So the teacher will use the 30 minutes to explain about the materials. And then the next 30 minutes, uh, the the students will explore the materials together. You can use a group work or online learning or small group. It's just up to you because it's based on the materials too. And don't forget, this is very most usable for high school. This is very used. Then flip classroom model. Learners are first introduced to concepts at home through online coursework and then practice in class. In the flip classroom models, the teachers explain the materials using online meeting, and then the teacher would like give the assignment to the students and work or do the assignments together at class. But if you use the fully online classroom, you can use separate group. So you divided the class into some groups and asked them to talk about the materials that they talk, and then the small group will talk about that and then submit the assignments to the teacher in using online too. This is very flexible. Next, remote blended learning. Learners focus on completing online learning. They do face-to-face learning with lectures only occasionally as needed. Remote blended learning used mostly used by college students. because the meeting will be only held if it needed. So the teachers will give the schedules, the timetable of the materials, and the students will explore the materials by themselves and submit to the teachers. And there is no meeting if it's not needed. So it's as needed, just needed. So it doesn't mean in a month there is no meeting, it's okay. The last project based blended learning. Students use online learning as well as face to face teaching and collaboration to design, repeat, and complete project or product specific learning. This is very suitable if the teacher wants the students explore everything because this is focused on the project. The students make a project. Could be a group or independent or individual. So the project is using like paper, and you can use um, online thing. It's like making a video. This is a project-based blend learning. So the teacher only focused on the art of the student, and the outcome is like media, like video, image, or document, or papers. Next, three, use a variety of teaching tools. Incorporate digital technology into your classroom lessons along with traditional methods of instruction. Switching between computer based or gamified learning and face to face instruction will keep students engaged in their learning and strengthen lessons. It can also empower students to move at their own pace. Many teachers use social media nowadays. It's more like using Instagram. The students share the project they used and share it to the social media, and then they will ask another students to support the project. This is very basic, and this is also can be fun because the main point of the blended learning is fun. The teacher and the students can teach and learn fun using the digital technology also the main point because mostly we're going to teach and learn at home. So using the social media is, I think this is the best way because um, the students and the teachers, we have to follow the Gen Z, and we can also make them feel this assessment is fun. We can use it, it's fun. Just only doing a meeting online classroom is kind of a little bit boring for students. Sometimes students are sleeping in the classroom, in the online classroom. Using social media is gonna be the best solution because they will be very attractive for this. So I think this is a good idea for teachers that technology they have to be more impactful to the technology. Next slide. Communicate with everyone. A blended learning classroom requires communication with everyone, like students, professional peers, administrators, and parents. Blending learning works best when everybody shares a belief in the vision for it. Blended learning needs support by teachers, principals, students, and also parents. Teachers can communicate all the teaching strategies into another teacher that you will going to use the same method. This is very easier for us. So the teachers will be more comfortable at classroom because they already communicate this with the parents, with the peers, with the professional peers, of course, because if we just do the blended learning by ourselves, I think it's okay. But this is going to be more impactful if we communicate with everyone. We can ask the student, so what we're going to learn for today, students? What do you like from this material? This is better than we just saying, okay, the material is this, the material is this. This is more like order. I think sharing moments is way better than just giving order to students. Next, next slide. The last is be patient. Finally, remember that it takes time to succeed with blended learning. Don't give up if you don't see the results you want within the next 2 weeks. Blended learning works if you'll just be patient with a little while longer. Yeah, everything needs process. And of course, the blended learning is not something that usually teachers use in class. That's why it needs more time to be succeeded. So, if you feel that in a month this is going to be very successful, it can be possible, of course, but not all the things that we want will be fully uh, hoped in a month. It needs process, so the teacher must be more patient because we also learn about how to teach using the blended learning because this is rarely used, but this is very good for pandemic era, especially using online meeting at classroom. Next. Learning from home can be difficult, but it's definitely achievable. Blended learning helps reinforce lifelong skills such as time and energy management, independence, and creative thinking. Blended learning is very helpful for students, make them feel more creative, more exploring the world that they can think is thick because the students can open the world by using many medias, many informations. They can use internet as the main media in online classroom, and they can freely explore the materials, uh, just like what the teachers want. I mean, if the teachers want the students use paper, the students can um, use the media, the internet, to find the materials. So even if the first time it may be difficult, but I think if we starting to process to use the blended learning, I think this will be much easier if we'll be patient and we can communicate to the parents too. We share each other about what is the best for our classroom. This is going to be very successful for the blended learning in online classroom. And thank you. I think this is all the presentation or the explanation about the blended learning. And thank you so much for the time, Mr. Gopher. Thank you.
All right, there you go. All right. Such a profound statement from Neneng Moleda when she said that the learning from home can be difficult, but it's definitely achievable. Okay. when we give
Yeah.
our strong commitment, because
Yeah.
our main concern here is we have to ensure the continuity of our education owing to the pandemic that is actually uh, making us crazy all over the world. All right. So
Yeah.
thank you, Mom Neneng Molidia, sorry, from Indonesia. Yes, for
Yeah.
making time to see through this presentation. It was very engaging and fulfilling because of your uh, presence and your extensive discussion on the blended learning. And you know what? I
Yeah.
was particularly interested in your discussion on the different characteristics of blended learning, and you also uh, differ how classroom learning is different from online learning and how does it affect the students. All right. And also, thank you for showcasing to us the different models that you actually are engaged with. Just to mention a few of them, the flipped classroom model, all right, the learning station
Yeah.
model, and also the remote blended learning and the project based. Those are definitely the best model that we can make use of for our students when we talk about blended learning. And I think blended learning is actually adapted all over the world, okay? Because
Yeah. Of course.
uh, yes, that is the best model that we can actually adapt to ensure the continuity of delivering our lessons to our students. And also, thank you for pointing out the importance of uh, observing the digital technology, as
Mm.
we all know that we are now living in a digital world where everyone, including the teachers, has to really adapt the integration of digital technology in their classroom. So there you go. We are now actually adapting it little by little. All right. Okay,
Okay.
so we once again thank you for such a commendable job, Ma'am Neneng Molidia, and we look forward to having you again in our next series. Your presence really here definitely enrich our webinar, and for this we remain grateful. Again, thank you, Ma'am Neneng Molidia, for that very informative presentation about blended learning. All
Yeah.
right.
You're welcome. Yeah. You're
Yes.
welcome.
All right. So. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the quiz game competition. And then afterward, our speakers all the way from Indonesia will join us again for the question and answer portion after the quiz game competition. But before that, I think on behalf of IGP, we would like to extend our congratulations to Ma'am Ana Agate Directo, all right, for being a loyal follower of IGP, all right. And so you're being spotted for your regular attendance. So for that reason, IGP is now awarding you its certificate of lifetime membership. All right. So for that reason, again, congratulations, Ma'am Ana Agate Directo, for your continual support in IGP. All right. So again, congratulations. All right. So as I was saying earlier, okay, All right, so we now come to the exciting and fun-filled online quiz game competition. All right, so we're inviting everyone to please join with our online quiz game competition. Again, just a quick reminder, all you have to do is you simply go to slido.com using your own browser and device. And then we are now providing the code for that particular quiz competition. That's IGP quiz. All right. So go now to slido.com and you copy and paste the code that's being projected on the screen. That's IGP quiz. All right. All right. So as of now, we still have a few participants joining in. So we're going to give them a minute or two to get settled, and then we'll get underway. All right. So as soon as you join with the competition, and then you will see your name appearing on the screen. Okay. So we have a few names on the screen. We have Ma'am Lorenza Dagudog, Mario Mrehan. We have Aurora Erjas or Erhas. All right. We have Shirley De Vera Fernandez. Okay. So keep joining in, ladies and gentlemen. A certificate of quiz completion awaits you if you're lucky enough to win and make it to this particular online quiz game competition. All right, again, certificate of quiz completion awaits those lucky top 10 players who will make it for this quiz game competition tonight. All right, so get yourself ready. Okay, so more attendees are keep joining in. All right, so as of now, we have 143 participants joining in our quiz game competition online. All right, so there you go. More participants are still joining in at this moment in time. So we have 149 as of this moment. Okay, so in just a few seconds, all right, we're going to start with our online quiz game competition. It's a very interactive, fun-filled, and lots of fun quiz game competition to all of our live attendees for tonight. All right. Just a quick reminder, once you join the competition, make sure that you can submit your answers as soon as you can, because you will notice that you'll be having a tie score, all right? But Slido will get your scores wrong according to the response time. So make sure that, all right, make sure that you can submit your answer as fast as you can. All right, so we have the first question on the screen. Teaching for creativity means option number one, teaching students how to draw, paint, and take photos, showing students the creative side of math and science. The purpose is to encourage students to think creatively. The teacher will evaluate. All right, so here we go. So Slido is now tabulating your scores, and in just a few seconds, Slido will now reveal the correct answer. 76% percent of our live audience opted for option number three, and that's the correct answer. All right, congratulations. Majority of our live participants got the correct answer. We will now proceed to the second question. Why do we need creativity in our world today? So we have the options here. Creativity does not cost anything. Creativity helps us confront constant new problems. Creativity makes us live longer, and creativity unites people. Which do you think is the correct answer? All right. Majority of our live participants said creativity help, and that's the correct answer. Again, congratulations. You're doing a good job, all right? 72% of our live participants got the correct answer. For question number three, creativity is about the product, only for certain people, driven by possibility thinking, and or is it about the arts? All right. So in just a few seconds, again, slido.com will now tabulate the result of your answer. Majority of our live attendees said driven by possibility thinking, and fortunately that's the correct answer. Again, congratulations guys, you did a good job. All right, so here we go with the dashboard showing you the score of our participants. Next question, teaching creatively means teaching only with pictures and music. Content is interesting due to the teacher's creative skills, showing the students videos instead of hands-on activities, or teaching a lesson multiple ways. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Slido, please reveal us the correct answer. It's option number two. That's content is interesting due to the teacher's creative skills. 41% of our live participants got the correct answer. There you go. We have Ma'am Elena Beltran is leading the score as of this moment. We will now proceed to number five question. Teachers can practice their creativity effectively in using videos for instruction by option one, pasting all of their slides in the video, accompanying texts with voice recordings, filling the video with funny graphics and images, and there you go. Slido is now processing the result. 38% got the correct answer, and the correct answer is accompanying texts with voice recordings. Again, congratulations. 38% of our live audience got the correct answer. For the next question, one teaching rule is option one, make sure you do not teach so much subtlety. Pay attention to the grammar, but do not neglect the other components. Pay attention to the grammar without paying attention to other components. And option four, none is correct. All right, majority of our live attendees said none is correct. Unfortunately, the correct answer is option number two. Only 31% of our live attendants really got the correct answer. Congratulations. Okay, John Paul B. DeLuna is now the top scorer. All right. Next question, what is the first biggest misconception about creativity? Is it the arts is the only place to be creative? Is it smart people are not creative, they are too realistic? Or not everyone is really creative, only some people are, and you learn to be creative? Which do you think is the correct answer? 34% or 37%. Congratulations, 37% of our live participants really got the correct answer. That's not everyone is really creative, only some people are. John Paul B. De Luna is still the top scorer as being shown by the dashboard. Next question, what is the second biggest misconception about creativity? Okay, creativity comes naturally, it cannot be learned. It is easier to be creative as an adult. Photography is not creative. Only the arts incorporate creativity. 50% of our live participants. Unfortunately, the correct answer is option number four. That's only the arts incorporate creativity. 31% of our live participants got the correct answer. John Carlos A. Velosa is now the top scorer. All right. Next question. What is the third biggest misconception about creativity again? Okay. Creativity is about going wild and not really thinking. Creativity is for people who don't have stress. Creativity is for people who are not busy. Or if your parents are creative, then you are also creative. Slido, please show us the correct answer. That's option number one. That's creativity is about going wild and not really thinking. 31% of our live audience got a correct answer. Congratulations. All right. Giancarlo Velonsa still is the top scorer as of this moment. Next question. When teaching the arts, it needs to be evaluated critically, student centered, inquiry based learning, or delivered in a cookie cutter way, or only explored on a Friday afternoon. Slido is now showing us the correct answer. That's option number two, student-centered inquiry-based learning. 61% of our live audience got the correct answer. Velonsa, congratulations. There you go. You can now see on the screen our top five players. We have John Carlo A. Velonsa, followed by John Paul B. De Luna. We have Nawang. Okay, so there you go. So we are now showing you the top 10 lucky players who will be receiving a quiz completion certificate courtesy of the Institute of Global Professional for doing a commendable job. All right. So again, congratulations to all of our winners. And congratulations, everyone. You are all winners, by the way. It so happened that some of you were not able to submit your answers as fast as you can. All right. So thank you for joining for our quiz game competition for tonight. All right. In claiming your certificate, just go to our website, check our website. That's www.eduigp.com. All right. For the process on how you could actually download or claim your certificate of completion for those top 10 lucky winners. Again, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we're having a very noisy background. All right. So here we go. We're having a very bad noisy background. All right. Okay, so we're back to take some questions submitted to us by our live audience. And now our speakers will join us again to answer the questions posed by our live audience. All right. Still, I'm hearing a very, very loud noise. Okay. Okay. So I think so. Let's now pave this way, ladies and gentlemen, for the question and answer portion. And we have on the screen the first question that's being posed by Sir Feruz Akbarov, who also happened to be our resource speaker for several webinars that we are conducting here in IGP. All right. Shout out to Sir Feruz Akbarov. All right. Our first question is addressed to Miss Naming Maulidia. Ma'am, you said blended learning is the best mode of learning, a mixture of both in person and online teaching. However, during the global pandemic, most students found online learning less interactive and even stressful. Do you think pandemic worked to the advantage or disadvantage of blended learning and why? Hello, Ma'am Nining Molidia. Ma'am Nining Molidia, I think your microphone is on mute.
Mm.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
There you have the first question on the screen that's addressed for you,
Okay.
Ma'am Molidia. All right.
Um, okay, I will answer the first question. The main question. Do you think pandemic worked to the advantage or disadvantage of blended learning? Why? I think the teacher strategy maybe need more management. This is not related with advantage or disadvantage. Uh, the students found online learning less interactive and even stressful. This is related with the teacher strategy, I think. The teacher strategy maybe use the wrong method, the wrong models. Blended learning have so many models to use. If you failed with one model, you can try to use another models. The teachers must use the comfortable or the suitable models. So if the students stressful and less interactive, so fix the blended learning models or the strategy. Maybe it's in wrong in the teacher strategy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you for
that's
answering that question. And I think this really requires a lot of creativity and resourcefulness among the teachers because pandemic is inevitable. All right.
yeah.
It's out of hands. So since it's already there, and then we have to do something to respond to this kind of crisis. All right. So as I was saying earlier, I think it requires a lot of patience, creativity, innovativeness, and resourcefulness of the teachers of today, especially in the 21st century. All right. Okay. So we have from Manolita Ramas Oligo, and this one is also for Miss Molidia. You mentioned that online learning is difficult but achievable. What made it difficult and how can it be addressed?
Oh, the main supporting things for blended learning is the media. If the media, not all the students afford the media, so maybe that is the difficult thing about the online learning. Not all the students have laptop, not all the students have mobile
Yes.
phone, and the media is also maybe make them difficult in reaching something. That's the difficult thing, but it's
Yes.
achievable. Of course achievable. There is a way if this school give the facilities about the media.
Yes, and also apart from that, I mean, in addition to the idea of Mama Maulidia, what also made it difficult is that this is something that is really new. Okay, so I mean, uh, the acceptability is something that we could actually consider because it's really something new. It's this pandemic is unprecedented, so everyone is not really prepared. All right. So once
Yeah.
we actually do something to address it, there's always a way for every problem that really coming along coming along our way. And then if we are resourceful enough, creative enough, and then we can find ways. All right. Okay. We have another question from this time is from Rain June Qualing. All right. And also this one is going out to Ma'am Neneng. What are other ways to incorporate blended learning with students who have no gadgets? I think this is very common.
This is related with the school facility that they give to the students. I mean, if the teacher want the students use this media, so the school must prepare. the media if the students maybe if they cannot afford that thing. I mean, if the teacher wants the students use mobile phone, if there are some students have no mobile phone, the school must prepare the mobile phone. So there must be communication between the teacher with the principal, like the materials I presented just before. Communicate. So communicate everything. Communicate to everyone. So this is gonna be the easier. If if it's just the teacher, if the teacher teach just like she wants or just like he wants without any interaction with the principals, maybe it will be difficult for the student. So the principals or the school system must know about all this materials project or preparation.
All
There
right,
must
thank
be
you for that.
communication.
Yes, very well said, Ma'am Nining. Anyway, here in the Philippines, when we say blended learning, we're not only talking about online and face-to-face. We are also adapting what they call modular learning. So this one is really ideal for those students who have no access to gadgets or who don't have gadgets. So what we're doing here is we are preparing a module and then we are actually releasing to the students, and then the students has to pick up the module, and then every week he has to submit all those activity that's being written on the modular instructions. So I think it's still a challenge because you could have, I mean, you could have mobile phone or you could have gadgets, but the other problem is not all areas, all right, not all places have access to internet. Okay,
Yeah.
you could have an access to internet, but it's very poor. So those are the challenges, especially here in I'm talking about Philippine context. That's one of the present problems that I actually observe in the conduct of the blended learning. All right. So, but still, the government of the Philippines, especially the Department of Education, is doing something to actually let all the students access to education. So we have to ensure that
Mhm.
no children will be left behind. All right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
can we ask Sir Dr. Abdul Mukid, what is your take about this, sir? Sir, can you turn on your
Uh,
microphone?
microphone. Okay.
Okay, sir, are you with us? Sir, we can hear you. I think you need to turn on your microphone first. Your microphone is, I think it's being
Yeah, yeah,
muted.
yeah. Mr. Gafur, pardon me, would you mind repeating the question, please?
We're having the question of the uh, what is the best thing we can do for those students who has no gadgets, because based on the presentation given by Mamo Lydia,
Uh,
uh, she talks about blended learning, and she mentioned about
mhm.
online classroom, but the problem is what would happen to those students who have no gadgets?
Yeah, actually, it's very difficult to answer because blended learning is made in a kind of such media, so it's rather difficult to be applied if without gadgets. But it's difficult to answer because basically blended learning the requirement are needed, yeah, to be applied for. And then without gadget, it's difficult to be conducted. I think like that. I have no idea about. about that. Yeah, that's all,
All
Mr.
right.
Gopal. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir, for sharing your take about the question that we posted earlier. This time is from Jave Tien. Okay. This question is still going out to Miss Nining.
Yes,
How blended
Nene.
learning Yes, how blended learning can be useful for teaching students who has special or special needs. We are actually referring to those children with special needs or with special, I mean, with disability, for instance. Uh, how can we actually handle that one now that we are experiencing a pandemic where face-to-face classroom is very impossible to happen? Okay, Ma'am Nining.
Okay. I think the special needs students, the teacher knows better about the students' needs. I mean, if they have less media to teach the students, there must be another solution to teach the students. Um, the special needs students usually they have some kind like assistant or friend at school. So special needs
Yes.
students doesn't study by themselves at school. They have something like assistant. So I think the assistant can help the students to teach and how to use the media. And of course, the this assistant must be uh, their experienced person, not just a person. I mean, the school needs a professional assistance for special needs students. So the teaching learning process will be working smooth.
Yes, thank you for your answer for that question, Ma'am Nining. I can actually imagine how a teacher can actually deliver a lesson to those children with special needs.
Yeah,
Yes, you might be correct in saying that it requires most probably we have to train the teachers in handling that particular case because uh, delivering a lesson to those children with special needs is quite different from a normal student. So most probably it requires a lot of patience and it requires further training for the teachers to really deliver the lesson well to those children with special needs. And again, thank you for that very substantial answer. Okay, so we've got here from Manolita Ramas Olego, and this time is for Dr. Mukit. What practices are used by vocational trainers to support indigenous students learning in courses? Sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. For vocational trainers, in making treatment to the indigenous student, um, there are many ways that they used to. Number one is through repetition. Number two, using the different tempo. Yeah. So because the resources of the student are different, there are some students who have high competence. Yeah, the tempo is fast, but those who have medium competence, they use slower tempo. But all of them must be repeated many times. I mean that the tempo is, for example, there was a student who was totally deaf. Okay, he couldn't hear anything. What just Miss Nining said that she had to have an assistant. Okay, how to deliver? the material to the student, it cannot be directly, but indirectly through the his translation. He must translate using what do we call hint? Yeah, using hand. Okay, for example, uh, how to practice this machine? It must be like this, like this. It is using a mimic, what we call, I don't know, it is uh, using sign. Yeah, using sign, it must be explained using very slow tempo, and it is repeated many, many times like this. So the tempo and uh, repetitions are needed for them. I think that's all, Mr. Gabor.
All right. So thank you, sir, for taking that question. All right. Before we proceed to the question, I'm just curious, Sir Abdul Mukit. Based on your presentation, you have this professional skills and vocational skills. Are you also requiring your college students for a vocational
Uh,
courses? Man, was vocational courses or vocational subjects really integrated in your curriculum in higher education in Indonesia?
okay, yes, all right. But the model of assessment is using blended assessment, not only blended learning. Yeah, blended assessment. It's meant that there are many kind of assessment, not only one, based on the situation. For example, using Zoom media, how to test using Zoom media. Of course, it's not enough if just test by Zoom media. How to identify the student capability exactly, but it must be test again using other media like correspondent test, direct test, or video call test. So all of them, how to cultivate their real capabilities. Of course, there is a blended learning. There is also blended test in this pandemic era to get the authentic results of the teaching and learning process. Thank you, Mr. Gopur.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's all for our question answer portion for tonight, and we appreciate you being here, uh, Sir Dr. Abdul Mukit, MPD from Indonesia, and Mom Neneng Molidia from also from Indonesia also. Thank you for spending your time with us and for sharing your wisdom and knowledge for our webinar tonight. All right. Again, thank you so much.
Okay, you're
All
welcome.
right.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
It's our pleasure. All right. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we have to make some announcement here from IGP. So we would like to remind everyone that we are still having a free international webinar on a daily basis. Okay, the fixed time for that is 6 p.m. BST UTC plus 6. Okay, so be guided accordingly. And we're also having a double bonus with regular webinars. So apart from we're having a regular webinars, we are also having an added webinars every weekend. So every Sunday of the week, we'll be having a two webinars. We have two sessions. All right. Every Sunday, we're having a webinar sessions. That's morning and evening. All right. So starting October, we're going to have a morning session. Okay, definitely we're going to have a morning session on October 10, October 17, October 24, and October 31 at 9:30 a.m. BST time. All right. So be guided accordingly. So meaning to say, every Sunday we're going to have a double session that's morning and afternoon. And also we're so excited to inform you guys that we're having a triple bonus. Okay. It's an offer from IGP also. Starting from October, we'll be having a series of webinar programs, and you will get an individual certificate for each webinar that you are attending. And after submitting all those certificates, and then definitely you will receive a webinar series certificates. All right. So the highly focus of that webinar series is on teaching strategies, research, assessment, pedagogy, tools and techniques, professional development, and communication skills. All right. So that's a triple bonus. As if the IGP is offering a what do you call this? I would call it courtesy offer. All right. Okay, our first webinar series program, we have 5 parts webinar series. Okay, for this webinar alone, entitled Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning, we have a 5 parts webinar series. Okay, it was started on October 1, and then it was followed by on October 4 for the part 2. And tonight, okay, we are about to conclude the part 3 of this particular webinar. And then by October 10, we're going to have the part 4 of this webinar. And then by October 26, that's going to be the part 5 of this webinar. And that's Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning. So please continue attending and watching this webinar. All right. Can we expect that from you guys? Okay, so that means you'll be receiving 5 certificates. And our second webinar series program, okay, we're going to have a 4 parts webinar series. For the second webinar series program, we're going to have a 4 parts webinar series. And the topic for that webinar is Teaching English is a Foreign Language and Assessment. So the first part was conducted on October 2. All right. The part 2 was conducted just yesterday. That's October 6th. And then the part 3 will take place by October 20, and part 4 is gonna be on October 24. So please mark your calendar. We still have 2 sessions remaining left for the webinar on teaching English as a foreign language and assessment. All right. Make sure that you'll be having a perfect attendance. And our third webinar series program will be having a 5 parts webinar series. And this one is about digital classroom engagement tools. All right. So the first part of this webinar was conducted last October 11. Part 2 was on October 12, and the part 3 was conducted last October 13. Sorry. Today is, no, no, no. The first part will be conducted this coming October 11, and the second part will be conducted this coming October 12. All right. Part 3 will be on October 13. Part 4 is going to be on October 14, and part 5 will be on October 15. So today is October 7. All right. So the, the, the webinar series will definitely start by October 11. All right. And for our fourth webinar series program, it has also a 5 parts webinar series. And this one is uncovering the new trends in education. All right. Part 1 of this webinar series will be on November 1. Part 2 will take place by November 7. Part 3 will be on November 12. Part 4 will take place by November 20, and the part 5 of this webinar series is on November 28. All right. So you have a wide array of webinar series to attend to. All right. So again, please mark your calendar. And for our fifth webinar series program, which has also a five parts webinar series, and the topic for this one is organizational leadership and managerial skills. All right. Part one of this webinar series will be conducted by November 8th. Part two will be on November 15th. Part three will be on November 22 or 22nd, and part 4 is going to be on November 25, and part 5 will take place by November 30. Again, please save your calendar. Mark the date. For the sixth webinar series program, okay, it has also a five parts webinar series, and the topic is Trends and Innovation in Mathematics Education. Part one of this webinar series will take place on December 12th. Part two will be on December 13. Part two will be on December 13. Part three will be on December 14. Part four, December 15. Part five, December 16. All right. So this is going to be a uh, 5-day webinar series straight in a week, straight in a row. All right, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Straight in a row. All right. Okay, for you to get the webinar series certificates, okay, you must attend all the parts of the series. So I think it's very important that you attend all those series for you to avail yourself of the certificates that's being offered by the Institute of Global Professional. Okay, it's a webinar series. Make sure that you will attend, okay, to all those 5 series of webinars in a row. Okay, so let me show you the step by step or the procedures on how you could actually get your certificates. All right, so of course you can join our live programs. Okay, you have 3 choices. You can join us either on on our Facebook page or on our Facebook group, and of course on our YouTube channel. And you can also check our website. That's www.eduigp.com. So if you missed any program due to some unavoidable circumstances, don't you worry, because you can still attend. You can still watch the previous webinars with verified certificates. All you have to do is you simply check our FB page and our YouTube channel for you to have a replay. And in that video, you can still see the code for the verified certificates. All right. Today's program name is Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning Part 3. Today is October 7th. All right. Okay, so we are now showing you the certification link. That's the link that you have to click. And once you click that one, and then you will be redirected to our website where you can download your e-certificate. All right. Certification link is now available in the comment section down below, and it's being pinned in the comment section below. So you simply look for that one. All right. Certification link will also be available always in this program post. Okay. You can check our Facebook page, our Facebook group, and our YouTube channel for you to find the link where you can actually click that one and have your certificate downloaded. All right. And that's for the step 2. All right. So you can claim your certificate in 2 ways. You can actually claim your certificate by the direct link from the comment box below in our Facebook page. Okay. There is a pinned comment. You can see that one, or you can see it in the post description below the in the YouTube channel. Okay, in the post description, you can also find that link. You can also see that link. Just check for yourself. And if you're not able to click that link, you can actually uh, go straight to our website. That's www.eduigp.com. Okay, for you to have all those information that you might need in claiming your certificate. Okay, but first you have to find today's program. Okay, look for the title of tonight's webinar. Okay, so step three is you have to browse, or you have to go directly to our a website. That's www.eduigp.com, or you can search for the link given below. Okay, or you will be redirected to the page, the IGP website. Okay, so you can see the button that's in color blue. You simply click that one. Of course, if you are new to our website, the first thing you need to do is you have to create first your own account, first and foremost. But if you have an account already, and then you can log in directly, after which you have to find the title of the seminar that you wish to attend and get the certificate. But of course, you need to get yourself enrolled first. All right. So on that screen, you will see the button login, where the uh, arrow direction is pointing up. Okay, so you simply click that one. All right. And again, today's program is Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning, Part 3. And then we are now showing you, ladies and gentlemen, the code for you to claim your certificate for tonight's or today's webinar. And that's IGP 7454. Okay, just a quick reminder, without code, definitely you're not eligible for claiming your certificates. But with that code, you can claim your certificates anytime. All right. So you can just uh, take note of the code, or you can just screenshot. All right, and have it type on the window that requires get your certificate. All right. So we're now showing you the button which says get your certificate in blue color, okay, where the arrow is pointing at. Okay, so you simply type in the code that's IGP 7454 on that uh, window, wherein there is written your certificate code, and then after which you simply click get your certificate, and then you're go to go. Okay, automatically your certificate will be downloaded, and then that's it. So what you are seeing on the screen is the sample of the certificate that you'll be receiving. All right. Okay, so your certificate is now ready. That's for step 6. And then all right, what is good about our certificate in IGP is there is a code, okay, verification code, just to make sure that uh, if you happen to use the certificate for your promotion, and then your employer will actually, they will be having second doubt, and then just simply give them the certificate, and then they will try to find out the certification verification code for the authenticity of your certificate. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. All right, our free international webinar certificate is, of course, auto downloadable in PDF file, in Acrobat PDF file. So you don't need to download it manually, okay? Once you click the download, get your certificate, and then it will be automatically downloaded in PDF file where your name is written on it, all right? Make sure that you actually put the correct name of your spelling, okay? So that the moment you download it, everything is perfect. All right. Okay. All right, dear participants. Okay, if you have any problem when it comes to claiming your certificate or any other issues, please do not hesitate to contact us. Okay, we are actually or the IGP has actually deployed our staff in our Facebook page and in our YouTube channel. Okay, there you go. We have our core team members. They're always ready in the comment section, okay, to support you in finding the solution to your problem. So all you have to do is you simply make a connection, just type in your concern, and then our core team members are always there to assist you, okay, for every problem that you might raise, especially in claiming your certificate. So we have on the screen our beautiful ladies, all right, who is our community facilitating official team members. They are our deployed team members in Facebook page who would be assisting you for your concerns. We have Ma'am Cherise Abejo Caberos and we have Ma'am Janet Cablao. So they are the right person to get contact with in our Facebook page in case you have this concern. Okay, anything that that is bothering you. Okay, for our Facebook page, okay, these are the core member team of IGP who will be ready to assist you in terms of your concerns. We have Ma'am Sherilyn Yamaguchi, we have Sir Jonas Malingin, and we have Sir Alonso Warren Cariaga. So they are the staff assigned who will be assisting you in your concern in our Facebook page. And for our YouTube channel, we have Sir Kelvin Linatok. All right. We have Sir Joel Danoog and we have Sir Jeffrey Sayag. Okay. For our YouTube channel. So if you have any concern, all right, with the IGP, and then you are making use of YouTube as a platform, those are the right persons to get contact with. And mark your calendar for the upcoming webinars, okay, on a daily basis. Starting October 8th, we're going to have a seminar or webinar on strategies in competent-based curriculum. All right. Joining us on that particular webinar on October 8th are three speakers all the way from the Philippines. All right. And also, we're so glad to have you guys join us on October 9th for the webinar entitled Implications of Theories of Reading to the Teaching of Reading. All right. And there is going to be a one-man show speaker on that event, and he will be coming from the Philippines. And also, be present to witness our webinar entitled Bringing Character Education in Classroom, happening on October 10, 2021. All right. We managed to invite two beautiful, lovely speakers all the way from the Philippines. All right. All right. And also enjoy being part of our webinar on October 10, all right, entitled Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning Part 4. So this is going to be the Part 4 of our webinar that we're having right now. Tonight or today's is the Part 3, and by October 10 is going to be the Part 4 of a series, all right? Also, we have invited two speakers from Indonesia, all right, who will be joining us for that particular event on October 10 for same seminar, all right? And then get ready for our webinar on October 11, 2021, entitled Digital Classroom Engagement Tools with Edpuzzle. All right. Joining us on that particular event is a speaker from the Philippines. It's going to be a one-man show one speaker for one webinar session. And see who's speaking at our webinar on October 12th. Okay, we have Sir Norman B. Lenis, all the way from the Philippines, on the webinar entitled Digital Classroom Engagement Tools with Kutubi. Kutubi. I hope I pronounce it well. Kutubi. Okay, these are the tools that we are actually making use of in today's new era setup. And of course, be part and witness as we bring you a webinar on digital classroom engagement tools, this time with Google Sites on October 13, 2021. And we have another speaker also from the Philippines in the name of Sir Arturo E. De Leon. All right. And I think Sir Norman B. Lenis will be back on October 14 for another webinar. And this time it's going to be digital classroom engagement tools with Wak- Wakilet. Okay, whatever. All right. And those three speakers we mentioned earlier will join together in one webinar session on October 15, 2021 for the webinar entitled Digital Classroom Engagement Tools Overview. So they will be joining together by October 15 for an overview of digital classroom engagement tools. That's great. All right. And learn the artificial intelligence in education as our first speaker from Oman, Sir Sajimon Fikil Joseph will share his knowledge on that particular topic on artificial intelligence in education happening on October 16, 2021. All right. More upcoming webinars, of course. Enjoy being part of our webinar entitled Becoming by Overcoming. All right. That's going to be October 17, 2021. And we have invited three speakers all the way from the United States of America. All right. And then by October 18, 2021, we have a webinar on personality traits and technology acceptance. All right. Two speakers from Pakistan will grace our webinar again on October 18. All right. Please join us on our webinar on subconscious mind and success that will take place on October 19, 2021. And joining us is a speaker from the Philippines and one from India. All right. So again, please mark your calendar. We have a wide array of webinar in store for you guys, courtesy of the Institute of Global Professionals. All right. And then we have another webinar series here that's Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment Part 3 happening on October 20, 2021. All right. Okay, so we're done with part 1 and part 2. All right. Okay, so more. Again, we wish to reiterate the code for tonight's or today's webinar. That's IGP 7454. Please do take note of that one, or you could simply take screenshot of it. Okay, and then enter that one on the window that requires the code for you to claim your e-verified certificate for tonight's webinar. All right. So I think, all right. All right. So I think that's it for tonight, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Again, we would like to acknowledge again the presence of Dr. Abdul Mukid, MPD from Indonesia, and Mom Neneng Maulidia, also from Indonesia. And we would also like to thank everyone who made this webinar series possible. Owing to your active participation, we remain grateful to our live audience for the unwavering attention with which you sat through this webinar. We are confident that you've learned something from it. All right. So, on behalf of IGP and our speakers for tonight or today, thank you for joining us tonight and have a great rest of your night or day. I am Gafor M. Panimbang saying keep continue learning and see you in the next series. God bless us all.